All right, so let's talk about it. Here's the question is, when is the right time to go back to school? And let me tell you straight up, there is no perfect time. If you're waiting on the perfect time, there will never be a perfect time. But I want to specifically talk about some of the reasons why people decide to go back to school. And I think it really comes down to the three F's: fear, frustration, or faith. And today I'm going to tackle the first one, fear, because this sits in with a lot of individuals and they don't really want to address it or name it as such. So I'm just going to go ahead and just name it for you, right? Like a lot of times people are motivated to go back to school based on some type of fear, right? The economy isn't doing well. And as a result, typically when the economy is not doing well, people are losing jobs. There is downsizing in companies. It is hard to find positions. It's often based on your credentials and your networking. And so this strikes a lot of fear in people. I understand and get it completely because I've been there. It's not long ago, even though it really is. The 2008 recession, or 2009, whatever it was. I just remember that's about the time that I finished my master's degree. And yeah, there was still some concerns then, right? But let's talk about this fear thing a little bit more because I think that there are things that are getting in the way that you really need to explore. And the first thing that comes to mind is like you're in a position, right? Let's say you're in a job right now, and maybe there's a surge of conversations around AI, or you've been in this job, you're overworked, everybody comes to you for things, and you really just don't have the capacity to do any more than you already are doing. And the fear is, if I quit this job and go back to school, will I be able to replace that income? Will I get what I thought I was going to get on the other side, right? Because my belief and what we've been told is that education will provide you jobs, which is fake, which is false. It won't provide you jobs. It provides you access to opportunities and credentials to be able to meet those opportunities when they come to you. That's what it does. It provides you knowledge and information more than the average human being has about a specific topic. It provides you access to a network, a group of individuals. It provides you access to resources and supports, career offices, writing centers, student development, student learning, student engagement, leadership, fraternity. It provides you access to all of these different things, but it does not guarantee you a job. And we need to dispel this myth that education will get you a job. No, you will get yourself a job. Your education provides you access to the door to even be open, but it will not guarantee you the job. You get yourself in the job. All right. But let's talk about that fear, right? Because I see it. I was just talking with somebody recently. They've been working for a number of years. They haven't been getting the promotions. The promotions have stopped. Or they're feeling very much like they've been overlooked. And they are ready to say, I'm good. I'll still do this, but let me go get some more education, some credentials that will assist me towards getting the next thing. And the fear is, but what happens if I do this master's degree for 2 years and then I still don't get the jobs? Then I feel like I wasted my time. Or what if I still go get the master's degree or the doctoral degree, which is required for the next level, for the move up in my given field, and I still get overlooked because they say, well, you don't have this, like you need more expertise. But you told me I needed more education, so I went and got the education. You told me on the job description that it said it needed a master's or doctor required. I went and got it. And now you're telling me I needed this too. A lot of that is fear. And let me speak specifically to the students now. You have been getting the 4.0. You've been such an academic scholar that you have been dedicated fully to your scholarship towards getting the most information out of this experience. But you didn't do any internships. You didn't do any co-ops. You didn't volunteer. You've not been involved in anything. And you're concerned that no company will hire you. So you want to decide to pursue a master's degree or a graduate degree really as a part two, as a buffer. because you feel that because I don't have the experience that's needed, let me go get the education, and that will then provide me what I need for them to say yes to me. And I completely understand that thought process as kind of a filler. Hey, I was a filler person myself. I get it. I enjoyed my undergrad experience. And I knew that in order to get into the field of student affairs, most of those individuals had a master's degree. So it was a bit of like, okay, here's the process I got to go through. But the fear and the concern was, but what if I should have stuck in this information systems, degree that I have? My fear is making the wrong choice. Should I consider really pursuing this field? And I did zero internships or anything. I didn't do anything majorly connected to that because my mind was like, you going to student affairs, this is where you need to go. So fear setting in, and I was like, well, let me just choose the one that I think is going to be right, which is to go get the master's degree. It ultimately worked itself out, as most of these things do. But let's talk about the other student, right? You have been doing the internships and the co-ops. You have been volunteering. You have built your resume, but you're still scared of people telling you no. You're still not confident that all these things will provide you access to the jobs that you want to, or based on your experience, right? Like, I've done all these things. This is what they said they're supposed to have, and I should be getting this, but I'm being told no. People are saying to me who graduated a year before me or 2 years before me, hey, don't believe what they say. Like, I'm still at home now, but I haven't been able to find a job. So your fear is unemployment driven, right? You're listening to other people, watching other people's experiences, believing that that's yours, that that's going to be yours. But that might not be your experience. You could take heed of that information. You can ask some critical questions like, what was the process like for you applying? What did you hear when you asked for feedback? What have you learned or changed or done since not being able to get employment that you're moving towards going back into that field? Or have you completely abandoned that field? And why are you abandoning that field? What are you doing every single day to strengthen your skill set, your knowledge, to build your network? Ask some questions. Just don't accept the story as the story. Because too often people are moving forward with going to graduate school out of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of unemployment, fear of wasting their time, fear of choosing a program that's misaligned with their goals. And so here's the thing I want you to think about. Number one, we know and have heard this before, and if you haven't, hear it now fresh. Fear, false evidence appearing real. This is not real. It may be somebody else's story, but your story is still being written. And so what I want you to think about first is, what is the thing that you look at the most? Like, if we spend time looking at your social media feed, we look at what you read often, what you're listening to often. What is that that's interesting to you? And how can the degree that you currently have or the one you aspire to get help connect you to feel that void or feel more into that? How can we use that to feel, F-U-E-L, your interest in that given area? How can we use that to feel, F-I-L-L, a void or a space that is needed with someone of your level of interest and expertise? Next thing is, let's think about the things that you're interested, deeply passionate about. What is the stuff that people come to you all the time that seems second nature to you? And you're like, how do y'all not know this? How do you not know how to do this? Let's sit with that one. How do you not know how to do this? If it's something you know how to do, like the back of your hand, content creation, Excel spreadsheets, statistics, whatever that thing is, maybe that's what you need to go get the degree in. Maybe that's the area you really need to explore more. So I encourage you really to write down, what are the things that people come to me about most often? And what's my fear about moving into addressing that as my career? The next thing is, what are you really just gifted and passionate about? You literally would love, if someone just said, tell me about this, you would tell them over and over again about this thing. It would never be boring. Because I know that there are some people who get into career fields and they reach a point of career dissatisfaction, career frustration. And that's the next F that I'll talk about in another video. And so they're reaching this point like, what's next? I'm feeling a little bit of anxiousness because I don't know what's going to happen next. There may be budget cuts. They're talking about downsizing. I'm showing up every day, but I'm really not exuding the best energy when I'm present. Like people can see that like I'm really not in it. I'm present, but I'm not really in it. I lost my interest a long time ago. And I'm concerned, what am I going to do if this continues? What happens if people realize that I'm really not as good as what I thought I was? Fear of imposter syndrome. That's imposter syndrome is a form of fear. And so if somebody does catch you not really being as good as it, you've really been having assistance, you've been chat GPTing your way through this thing, you really just aren't the thing that you project, and the version of who you are and your skill sets are not in alignment. And so as a result, you're afraid of being caught. It's a fear. It's real. But what is real to you? What are you gifted at? What are you skilled at? What can you showcase? What can you develop? That's the thing I want you to do. I want you to speak to every single one of those fears. I don't have the GPA. I get it. Person graduated 2.8 and they said they need a 3.0. I don't have the GPA. I'm afraid. I'm fearful they won't let me in. Apply anyway. You don't know. Did you have a conversation with the person? Have you talked to a coordinator or an admissions person or a recruiter about have they made contingencies to let people in who don't meet the requirement? What would I need to demonstrate if I don't have a good GPA that I'm a good fit for this program? That's speaking to the fear with evidence and information. I don't have a GRE score. They said they need a 310 and I got a 297. That was your boy. Well, you need a 300. But I had a 297. They won't let me in. They won't give me an assistantship. They won't give me the funding. They're going to find out that my 297 really reflects that I'm not that smart. That is fear driven. You are smart. You already are at the end or have completed one degree. You have the capabilities. So I need you to speak to that fear with evidence, with joy, with grace, with knowledge. Arm yourself with knowledge. Don't let fear stop you from moving forward in this process. I want you to go for that thing that you really, really want. You want this. I know you want it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be exploring this. So go for it. Try it out. Throw your name in the hat. Attend an event. Meet with people. One of the best things you can do is interview individuals that have the degree of which you want, that have the degree and the career of what you're interested in going into, and ask them questions. Hey, how did this degree help you in your career? Going back, would you choose that program? Would you choose something different? What do individuals in this field really need to know to be able to advance and to flourish? And how can you use the degree and the credentials and the networking to assist you in that? Why do you think people are requiring individuals to have a master's or doctoral degree in said given field? What do you see is changing or evolving that is different from what you learned in the classroom in your degree program, your graduate degree program, versus what you really do in your job? Just interview and ask people. They're willing to share information with you. So today is the day. We're not going to move through fear. We are going to move with information, with confidence. You got this. I feel very excited about it. And stay tuned because we're going to address the other two F's: frustration and faith. Have a good one.